everyone, it's me, Carol from Practical Mystic. Thanks for joining me. I want to talk about the full moon in Virgo, which is going to happen on March 18th, 2022, and a little surprise for you as well. And this full moon, any full moon, has to deal with culmination, endings, and letting go. And the question that I have here is, what do I want to let go? And for each of us, it may be a little different, but that the full moon is in Virgo. It's in an earth sign. It is practical. It's a perfectionist. It tends to want to be organized. That is going to help you maybe think about the proper energy that is happening on this full moon, March 18th. And then next, what we see here is, what do we wish to begin and create? Because we're setting into motions our new desires, our new wishes, as we're letting go of those things that maybe weren't fruitful, maybe were disappointing, or we had to let them go even if they were joyful and happy. There is this transitional period which is rooted in spirituality. Now, I say that because the opposite sign of Virgo, where the sun is currently, when we have a full moon, we know that the sun is opposite it, is Pisces, and right now there is a stellium of planets in Pisces. Two of them are Neptune and Jupiter, and they are forming a conjunction. They're very close. They're doing a dance together, and it's very strong because the rulers of the sign Jupiter is Neptune, and of the sign Pisces is Neptune and Jupiter. And as I said earlier, it is establishing this inner peace by letting go and then moving forward with our desires and our wishes, but connecting with our spiritual essence. This is a year of us, I like to say, falling in love with ourselves and our lives and our world and the people around us again. So what better way, I thought, to kind of lighten up everything that has been happening in the world and being kind of created with this full moon in Virgo, was to make some journal cards having to do with this energy, so that if we make some journal cards, we can put them in our journals, we can put them in our tarot journals, our dream journals, our art journals, but they're going to reflect this full moon. And I made one for myself. Let me get this out because I don't want to create on that mat. And this is the journal card that I made for myself, and let me explain what it represents. Number one, I thought, let's go ahead and think about putting them on playing cards. Now, these are jumbo, and I did that for aesthetic reasons and because it's going to be easier for people to see them on the monitor. But it also has this air of cartomancy that a lot of people do divination with just regular playing cards. So I took the 10 of clubs, which is in tarot, the clubs would represent wands or rods. And that is the culmination of many things in my life. Many of you may know that I've finally sold a family business and moving on from there. And I am dotting my I's and crossing my T's. And this full moon in Virgo is, I'm letting that go. I no longer have to work 24/7 on that particular business. So that 10 of clubs spoke to me. So you may want to look at doing a journal card on something that speaks to you. And then what is it that I'm wanting to create? Well, that reflective mode, that energy, that spirituality, the mysticism of Pisces and Neptune, and the expansion of Jupiter right now is, yes, I want to listen to my dreams more. And in this fairy tale book, I found this picture of a woman sitting, looking outside her window, looking like she's looking at the night sky. So I cut her out, and because that's what I'm wishing to do. And then this part up here, let me show you where I got that, because I'm definitely a junk journal individual. And another thing that I wish to do more, downsize, is you see these little knitting needles? Yep, you got it. I want to do more needlework. And I took this off a skein of yarn that I had, and I saw these stars, and I thought, oh, that's perfect. I want to create more with my hands. Needlework is something I love to do. So you can see when you're junk journaling, you keep about everything. So that's what this is. This is the reminder of my knitting needles. I want to relax more, like this little cat. And basically some writing behind it. And who doesn't use music sheets in their making journal cards or making junk journals? And what I'm going to do, and what I thought would be a great creative thing, is on the back of that is to put those things I'm going to let go of and those things I wish to enjoy, manifest, and begin. So I simply put the full moon in Virgo, 3/18/2022, and this will go into my tarot journal. Now, what you're seeing here, we see the back of these cards. You know, some of them are very pretty. In order for me to write on that, I had to put some gesso. So there are options on your journal cards. You can put a real thin coat of gesso like I did, because I wanted to see a little bit of the red, or you can do what I did a second journal card, and this time all I did, folks, was open up a junk mail envelope. If you want this kind of backing, I glued it on and then cut across it, and you can see that you have this nice backing so you can write on this journal card. But here I use the 5 of Hearts, which of course is the 5 of Cups, as what I would like to let go, or I'm using as an example here. The 5 of Cups has to do with unhappiness in relationships, even unhappiness in love, or in yourself, or in others. And I'm letting that go with that full moon in Virgo. And I thought, wow, what a beautiful journal card I could do. And I cut this Find Happiness in Love from this Heart of Happiness books. That I keep all these because they have such beautiful quotes, entries, and you can see here how you can use these as focal points in your journal cards. And then I had this, I don't know where I got it. I'm sure I picked it up at a thrift store. I cut some out, and you can see how I laid it out here on the card. The background that you see in both of my cards, because you need something to pop these journal cards, believe it or not, folks, is streamers. Now, if you don't have streamers, party streamers, these are great for texture. And as you can see how I use it, you can always use just black paper. And there was a little bit of red streamer that I used over here. But that's what I did, and I cut out a heart from that streamer. And basically put smile, put love, and cut out, didn't fussy cut, just cut out a beautiful flower, almost like saying blooming into joy and happiness with relationships. So, and then writing down what you need to on the back. So maybe you want to create one of these journal cards with me. And because of time constraints, I kind of pulled some things. Let me put these back. I pulled some of my junk journal things. Now remember, you're going to be just cutting around if you're wanting to use that. And I did that with a card here. Let me quickly get it. So I am doing the 3 of diamonds. And I do recommend that you take a sanding block and just go over it, because some of these cards are very shiny, and I did that on the back before I glued it on, but that's why you see it a little bit, little raggedy, but it gives it some tooth, and then you can keep the numbers and also, of course, the diamonds. Now, the 3 of diamonds, diamonds are represented by coins in the tarot. So this would be the 3 of coins. Now, what did I pull from there? Let me show you. Again, going back to that wonderful fairy tale book that I have, I pulled this picture, almost like a sharing, a giving, an understanding of someone who maybe, I gather, a little bit more needy because of his clothing and his demeanor, almost beholding to her, this angel of giving and offering him something. So I'm going to pull from that. We'll do that. Music paper. Everybody has music paper. I think this is something I found. I pull from it all the time. We'll be using that today. From a blank piece of paper, I have stamps. I'm sure all of you have stamps. I just stamped this Happy Sunshine. We'll see if we want to use that. Here's some border I found in another book. We'll see if we can incorporate that. All right, in the book that I showed you where I found the happiness in quotes, I found this: you are equal to all others. And I thought, oh my goodness, is that what she's trying to tell him? That we are all created equal. There is nothing to shame or to be worried about. And that's what I felt when I saw this quote. I'm going to use that. Here's some more border. And then for the writing in the back, and here is an indication. I found some other ones here, but I do like to put on a little bit of a background before we put our main theme. And this is basically a terms and condition contract that I had, and I'm going to probably cut that and use some of that for the background. So let's get started. Let's have some fun while we are experiencing this full moon on the 18th of March and everything else that is happening. So what do? Okay, I have this mixture. Some people always want to know what kind of glue. I mix my own. What do I mix? I do like the Elmer's Glue All, but I don't like the way it is water-based because I don't want it to bubble. So I found by mixing any kind of Mod Podge that you have, it could be glossy, it could be matte, it doesn't matter. Do 50-50, and that's what I have here, and that seems to work very well. I don't get any bubbles or anything like that in the backs. Okay. So I'll shake this up, and I am going to get my ink out because we will be inking some of the sides. So now, again, I like to begin by the background. So I am going to just tear some of this. very quickly. Maybe use a couple little spots. And you don't have to overthink this. Just enjoy. And it turns out beautifully. Once you pull your ideas and your papers, it just seems to blend in. And just letting go and being creative, being imaginative, that's the name of the game during this full moon and all those stelliums, that one stellium in the sign of Pisces. And now I am using black soot just to ink the edges. Seems to help pop things. And you can see I'm not taking my time. Again, I don't want to bore you. I just want to sit here and create, see how this works, and make a journal card. While I have it out, let's go ahead if we are going to use these. Now, I'll probably end up having to cut it around. I'm not sure. Oh, yes, let me explain that. Okay, you can see the edging of my quote, find happiness and love in here. And I used these paper sharpers. They're all over the place. And that's what I did, that fancy edging there. You can do whatever you want. Just showing you how I went about creating that. Okay, let's put these over here, get them out of the way. Okay, and why don't we right off the bat get an X-Acto knife. I do like keeping one or both of the numbers. So if I worked over here, no, I think we'll use this one. Okay, basically get an eyeball view of where that number is. Then get on your mat, be careful. And all I do is cut where I feel the 3 will be exposed. And let me just look at it here a little closer. You can see it's not perfect, but that is going to work for me. Maybe a little more. It's hard to be doing this from this angle, so forgive me for not getting it right the first time. But hey, nothing's perfect. We're having fun. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm going to do. We're going to do it that way. I'm not going to fuss anymore. And find the top of that, and we'll put that back. And we're going to glue it on right away. And now some people like to use a glue stick. Absolutely, if that's what you want to do. I want these cards to last a long time. They're going to be going into my journal. Therefore, I painstakingly, yes, glue this way all my junk journals and my ephemera. I totally want to keep them where they are. So that's how I do it. Now I'm going to do it, I'm going to put it just like this, and then I'm not going to push it down all the way. I'm going to show you why. Because I'm wanting to come in here and grab the black streamer and create something right there. Okay, and you can see that I just picked it up and cut it. Now these streamers are wonderful. They add that dimension to your artwork. But they are a stinker when it comes to making sure that it doesn't start deteriorating in your hand because it's very, very thin. So you kind of have to work pretty quickly. And if it's not perfect, that's fine. So I'm going to raise that edge up, like I said. I'm going to lay this down right there on the edge of the upper card. Then lay this back down. And then I just kind of let it, because it's so thin and it adds a nice quality and feel, that's it. Let it go. That's it. Okay, now let's do that again over here on this side. Again, I'm just going to rip apart. And this will cover the starkness of the white of our playing cards. I hope everyone is doing well and not overwhelmed with the world events, keeping positive thoughts in mind, hoping that this full moon will also be a resolution to the discord that is going on in the Ukraine and with Russia. That's certainly on everyone's mind, and the poor people there. All right, and let's go ahead and put it there. And that might be a little difficult to do. I'm just gonna, all right, watch. I'm just gonna do this, and then I'm gonna get a pair of scissors. Now with this folded, I'm going to attempt to make a little round hole here. That's it, snip it. How did we do? We did pretty good. Oh, I like that because then I also have the diamond. So I'm gonna keep that. We're not gonna worry about this. Let's just go ahead and glue it down and create. Playing with paper, cards, glue. Making them into something new. Something that's meaningful for you. As I said, cardamosity. The cards known as cardamacy in divination and how they are related to the tarot may be a great way for you to utilize that concept and that meaning. Okay, here we go. Here we go. You can see that I'm not a fusser. I do like to do it as best as I can, but this glues very quickly. All right, and then I'm going to just put that there. I might be able to tear it. No, I'm just going to go ahead and snip it. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to also show you what we're going to do after when they dry. All right, now let's go ahead and see about putting the music paper as a background. I kind of like this. Here is the world turns away. Interesting quote on there. This music. And not knowing where exactly we're going to put her really doesn't matter. We're just trying to cover up the background right now. If you don't have music paper, you might have an old dictionary page that you wanted to use. You might have additional little, you might have some very pretty scrapbook paper that you want to use up. It doesn't matter. I'm just using what I have and utilizing that it's going to, the idea that it's going to cover the background. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to try to join them for some reason. All right, something here. Let's go back to, let's see, we had that border that I spoke of earlier. That border. I'm just going to rip that. I'm going to, I like hand tearing. I think it makes it look organic, vintage. Again, I like to go ahead and put some ink. You don't have to. It's fine without the inking. It seems to help, again, with that white background of the card to help it pop a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to lay that right there on the edge, that little border. All right, let's look at our main focus, our main theme, which is this angel here. And I'm going to cut this because I don't want to waste it. I might be using this part of the script. It's on a very nice paper thickness that lends itself well with other forms of journaling. And I'm going to probably just go ahead and take my time and tear around. And I'd like to get as much as that black footing she has, that black foundation, because I think it has like a very unique, mystical. All right, and I'm gonna go around. I don't necessarily have to have the, seems to be the circle around her. Whether that's energy, I'm not quite sure. I didn't read the fairy tale, but I'd like to place her about right there. Now, where is that sun gonna come in? Well, maybe we can place it. Or I might not use that sun at all. That's the beauty of having options. I think I like her there. We're going to need a little bit more background. So let's see here. What can we have here? I have that. I like the birds. Yes, I like that. So we'll just clip it. And I think just to give it a little bit of shaping, I'm going to use the same paint shears that I had before. Now, where did I put them? There they are. The paper shapers, just to give it a little, I don't like the straight lines. So I'm just gonna clip them on the edge. Again, using our black soot, just go around it. Make it all blend in. And here we're gonna have to maybe decide if we want to add a little bit more of the black streamer. It's almost very thin. Back here, I kind of like that. Just the way it is. Let's do it. Like I said, anything goes, just be creative. And you can see that I'm not taking my time. I probably would take a little bit more time if I wasn't doing a video and don't want to bore you and just want you to see how these can be made very quickly in your junk journals for aesthetic reasons, or what we're doing today with the full moon energy that we're going to be recording on the back. Okay, so that's good so far. And I think what I will do is I will put these birds here, And then I will carry it over. Let's see. Well, I think what I'll do is put a little bit more of the writing that we had here. Let's put that behind her to fill in that little space. Let's do that right now. There we go. There we go. Easy breezy. That's there. And we'll put in more of, let's see, why don't we put in a little bit more, what else did I have? You know what? I think I would like to add these little stars up here from my yarn band that I used in my other original journal card. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's cut that, finish that off. I think that would also add to the intrigue of the angel with her halo around her head. And very quickly, here I am again, putting, oh, this really grabbed it. Did you notice how that grabbed that? The ink around the edges. When you do cut the edges, especially when you rip the edges, some papers really will absorb the inks. So you may, if it's the first time that you're ever doing this, you may need to make note of that. Now I'm going to bring that up all the way up to here. I don't mind if some of that, and it's not going to show, some of the diamonds, because we're not really showing a lot of them, but we really don't have a choice. Don't have one there because it's only the 3 of diamonds, but okay. I'm going to cut that. We don't need all of it. Let's put that there. The little bird seems to be on a pedestal. Now let's ink around our little angel. Might want to take a little bit more off of here. I like that. I think I'm going to lighten it up a little more. I'm not going to throw that away. I may be able to use it somewhere else. But I think I'm going to do that and then fix this a little bit, kind of round the corners. I apologize for getting a little fussy, friends, but we're on the home stretch. So now let's go ahead and, oh yeah, you can see how that ink really pulled from my little dauber here. Very easy here. Don't have to do much. All right, I think that's pretty good. Now, do we want to put any of the material? No, I think this is going to be busy enough. And we still have to put our quote up there. So I'm going to put her down. I'm going to put our main focal point, the main theme of this 3 of diamonds, 3 of coins, and it is sharing and the expansion of goodwill to others, which is that Jupiter planet right now in conjunct with Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. A little bit of pushing down, and now we'll finalize it And I'm going to put that right there. As a wonderful reminder of our divinity on this planet, of our spirituality. Good enough. Here we have it. I think that's good. Yep, I don't want to cover up my little 3. Okay. Now it is going to curl a little bit. When it dries, it'll flatten out. You can also put it under heavy books. How I finalize these, of course, when this is completely dry, I will come back in with my sanding block and I will just go around, and as you can see, these are just going to flake off beautifully. In fact, it might even be, look at that, it's doing it now very easily. This will all come out. And then I will ink around the edges. There's my writing space for my release. Whoops, we got a little something there. A release of what I'm letting go for the full moon in Virgo. And then lastly, folks, what you see here on these cards to protect them is this product that I absolutely find has worked for me 100%. It is made by Deco Art. It is called Decoupage Matte, and I don't use it as a glue, but I do use it as a sealer. 1, sometimes 2 coats, but because we are going to, or you are going to be taking these journal cards in and out of your journal books possibly, then a coat does protect it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for working with me, creating this, and hopefully you have some playing cards or other things, and you can create your own journal cards for this full moon in Virgo. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.